Lisa, my child has tested positive for HD. My husband and I both have not tested. Now that this child is tested, are we unable to get life insurance?
I will go back to my "it depends" statement I made earlier. There's a few scenarios here. So I will just say this: supplemental insurances, life insurances, long-term care insurances, extra disability insurances, accidental death insurances, these types of things have gotten, I don't want to say smarter, but I'm going to say smarter in the sense of, in this age of, we do know more about our genetic predisposition to different diseases and different things. Life insurances and these supplemental insurances are adding those questions to their questionnaire. So sometimes we do have a lot of life insurance companies that will ask, do you have a family history of Huntington's disease? They specifically will say Huntington's disease a lot. And sometimes it's maybe more general. Do you have a genetic history of any illness in your family type thing? Of course, if they ask specifically about Huntington's disease, the non-fraudulent answer is yes, if you know that this runs in your family. And of course, as soon as you say yes, the next question is, have you tested for Huntington's disease? If you have not tested for Huntington's disease, you can safely answer that question no. If you have tested, again, the non-fraudulent answer is yes, you have tested. And that's whether you've tested under your name or anonymously. Doesn't matter. If you have tested, the non-fraudulent answer is yes. There's a couple scenarios here. If your child, obviously, if you know your child is your biological child, obviously that means one of the two of you have some sort of expansion. Now, if your child was adopted and or a sperm donor or an egg donor, something like that, and it could be that you could still qualify even if you have to answer those questions because of just the biological connection that you have with that child. The other thing to consider is that life insurance, the supplemental insurances are not the only way that you can save for your future and provide for your family post-death. You can talk to a financial advisor. There are private investment things that you can do, individual investment accounts and things that you can do to save for your family and save for your future care if that's something that you need. So there are other options. Don't feel like if you can't get life insurance, you're out of luck. The other option is sometimes when you are employed at a new job, if you apply for the life insurance that health or that employer provides, right when you get hired, they don't do a medical review. And that's ideal for everybody, whether it's Huntington's in your family or something else. So if you are in a new employer position and you are offered life insurance, and I would recommend taking it and signing up for it and getting part of that. And then if you want to seek getting additional later or anything like that, at least you have some and you can explore other options at that point. And then if it financially becomes too stressful for you and you cannot continue to keep that policy, then you can cancel it too. But it's a complicated situation. It's not black and white, unfortunately, which is as with most Huntington's questions. But talk to your Huntington social workers, talk to your other support group members, people that have been through it. There's a lot of knowledgeable people out there, way more knowledgeable than even I, about these situations, and explore all your different options so that you can make the best choice for your family.
Perfect.
Dr. Napolis, children living with JHD will never be able to have a gene therapy because their brains haven't fully developed yet.
Thankfully, that's false. There is a lot to know and try to understand about when you have someone with JHD. Is their brain still developing? For the most part, once you develop the symptoms of Huntington's, if you're a young person, if you have juvenile onset, your brain is now driven by degeneration. And so that means you have the disease, you're in the degenerative phase of the disorder. That means you're symptomatic and you're getting worse. And that is the part of the disease that we're trying to work on for gene therapy. What we're trying to do, I know the field eventually wants to prevent, but right now the gene therapy trials are designed to treat people who have Huntington's disease to keep them from progressing further. And in general, the best place to do that is at the beginning of the disease so that you can keep as much function. And so absolutely JHD patients should be eligible for that. Like I said, their brain is undergoing degeneration. Is it also undergoing development? To be honest, at that point, it's a moot point because the generation is taking over, totally taking over. And so you bet, to have that JHD person have the ability to have a drug, because it's the same thing, it's the same disease process. And if it's going to slow down disease process in an adult onset Huntington's, it should do the same thing for a juvenile onset Huntington's. So yes, they are more vulnerable because they are developing, so to speak. But to be honest, at that point, development is not relevant. What's relevant is that they have a brain that's undergoing degeneration, and they deserve the right to have treatment that could potentially slow that degeneration.
Thank you. I don't know if I messed that up, Katrina, but I'll take the next one, then we'll get back on track.
Sounds great.
I think I doubled up. I'm just really eager to ask you guys this stuff. So, Lisa, is there anything set in place for expensive therapies like a gene therapy to help cover the costs with that insurance won't? So looking into the future with access, it sounds like.
Absolutely. Like not yet, but we also don't have that gene therapy yet for Huntington's disease. So the answer is companies like Unicure and Roche and Novartis and all the other companies that are coming down with potential meaningful treatments and therapies, they are working behind the scenes and asking these questions. And they are asking advocates like Katie and Katrina, and they are asking professionals like Dr. Duffy and Dr. Napolis and myself and other professionals about what do we need to look at? How do we need to present this to the community? What kind of supports do we need to have in place? Who do we need to advocate with as far as Medicare and Medicaid and all these other private insurances? So they are working behind the scenes to do that. Now, I will say for other diseases that have moved into gene therapies, yes, there is some patient assistance programs. And when a new therapy does come out, it usually is fairly expensive, which does make it somewhat exclusionary to some people. But usually it quickly becomes a little bit more cheaper and things because they do create patient assistance programs. So like the National Organization for Rare Diseases, they have a lot of patient assistance programs. And I have no doubt that when we get a meaningful treatment for Huntington's disease, that they will also have support for families in that regard, as well as other organizations out there. Help for HD, HDSA will all be on the forefront to help create an environment of which all of our Huntington's families have access to these particular therapies. Does it take time to also figure those details out? Yes, but I will tell you that those companies are working behind the scenes to try to make that happen so that when they do get FDA approval, we can hit the ground running and help support families and get the treatment into the people that need it and deserve it.
Yeah.
Perfect.